Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to talk to you about how you can win more games if you have a slower basketball team. Now, when you've got a slower basketball team, the first thing that you have to probably understand is if you're being full court pressed, you need to have your players pass the ball a ton. Next, you want to go on offense and know that while the other team is going to be much faster, which means that they're probably going to be playing some kind of man-to-man defense, or maybe a high zone, maybe a 3-2 type of zone. The next thing that you have to kind of figure out is, are your players going to be more on the shorter side, and are they going to be more on the taller side? If your players are more on the taller side, definitely attack the other team in the low post. However, if your team is shorter but slower, what you might want to do is run a lot of different screen and roll type of offenses so that now you have players who are cutting towards the net after coming off of those screen and rolls. And that way, you can create many different opportunities for layups, but also open opportunities for shots. So let's get down to the clipboard and I'll show you a couple of plays that you might like. Okay, so this first play I'm going to show you is with the 4-out offense. And what you just want to do really simply is to have player 2 set a screen for player 3, and then have player 4 cut across the key and set a screen for player 5. Now, the idea behind this is very simple. So it depends on how you're going to teach this. If you're going to teach it on a clipboard, to me, I like learning on a clipboard better than I do watching players do the movements. But if you wanted to explain to players on the basketball court, picture this as a fantastic big circle. The players on either side of player 1 are screening away. Super simple. Player 3 is then popping up for a 3-point shot, and then we want player 5 to go under the screen and to pop out towards the mid-range or a low post area. This way, we have two different options for player 1 to pass to. That's number 1. But also, number 2, we have the option for a 3-point shot if we have a 3-point shooter, but also a low post option if you don't have a shooter who is able to take those 3-point shots. Now, what we're hoping for this screen down low is for this to be a switch. That way there's a little bit of a mismatch down low if player 5 is unable to get his shot off in time. Now, the other thing about this play is because the other team is faster than us, we don't have player 1 going crazy, running off of screens, that kind of a thing. Because sometimes if you are a slower team, your point guard's also going to be slower, and if the other team's point guard or the player who's defending your point guard is faster, you may not want to have your player dribbling the ball all over the court. So this is a fantastic option that you're probably going to be able to use a ton. Now, if player 5 is covered, he got the ball but he's covered, or whether or not he has the ball or not, we can now move into either a 5-out, which I always prefer. If you haven't seen my previous videos, I prefer a 5-out. But also, this allows us to move into still using a 4-out offense, almost like a motion offense, where players just fill back into where they were and we can set another screen away from the point guard, or we can set a screen for the point guard, which again, super simple play where we can have player 3 screen for player 1 and player 5 screen for player 1. Now, of course, I'm talking about screening for players who may not be the fastest. So, what we're looking to do here is to have player 4 fill out or pop out. That way, we're opening up this key. We want player 1 to have a number 1 option is to use player 5 as a screen. That's our number 1 option that we want to see happen. Because then if they pop out, we have player 5 rolling towards the basket and player 3 popping out for a 3-point shot. Player 5 would be open in this case. However, if player 3 was the one being used and player 1 went this way, We would then have player 5 pop out and player 3 roll towards the basket. Now you may be saying, well, hey Alan, you just said that we don't want our point guard to be dribbling around a lot. Well, this is only 2 dribbles. Very simple. We're going to get a pass down low, and then that's going to draw player 4 over for help defense. We can have the kick out for a 3-point shot or maybe a mid-range shot. And then if player 2 moves down to try and play help defense, we can do the extra pass for the 3-point shot. Again, we're taking only 2 dribbles up top, and this should be 2 steps and a layup, or a jump stop and a kick out to player 4. Again, we're only taking 2 dribbles out of this whole play. That's it. Everything else is passing. And with a slower team, that is most likely what your best chance is going to be against a faster team. The ball, when you're passing it, moves a lot faster than pretty much any player on the court anyways. And then if you're a lot slower than the other team, you don't want to be doing a lot of dribbling because they're going to be able to play really tight to you because they know that you're not going to beat them off the dribble. And it's going to be very tight and hard for that point guard or your slower point guard to be able to dribble out of a player who's a lot faster than him. Especially if they start throwing double teams on your point guard and he's not very fast, it doesn't usually end up very well. So that's why you want to run quick, simple plays that doesn't have your point guard rolling off of too many screens, doing too much dribbling, herky-jerky dribbling type stuff. This is what you want to do if you're running a slower team. Now, if they're running a full court press, the same situations or the same strategies apply, and that is to mostly do passing. You really only want to have the player take maybe 1 or 2 dribbles at most and then pass the ball. But personally, he gets that ball inbounded, player 3 runs inbounds. We have player 1 reverse the ball. Again, we haven't done any dribbling yet. We have player 3 attack the gap. I just made a video on that. If you missed it, definitely check out yesterday's video. If I remember, it will be down below. Or you can just search Basketball Coach Allen attack the gaps in the YouTube search and you'll probably find it. Or you can just comment below and I'll send it to you. And with him attacking the gap, only 1 or 2 dribbles towards the gap. Pass out, quick pass up. We have beat their press defense. We will have player 5 take 1 to 2 dribbles towards the middle of the court because we do not want him in that corner. And now we can set up our offense. Super simple. My camera just ran out of memory, so up in this corner, if I remember, is a subscribe button. Over here is a video that YouTube is suggesting. If not, then I have forgotten, and I hope that you have a fantastic day, and check out my video later on today for my second video of the day.